What you're seeing here is the greeting that we witnessed. It almost felt like a family reunion of sorts. Ken had positioned the Center for Whale Research boat Chimo a good distance away from any other boats that were on the water that day, and actually what felt to me like a good distance away from the whales. But he knew exactly what he was doing, of course, and he cut the engines and stood just very knowingly with his camera in hand, waiting for the whales to approach him. And sure enough, they did. They burst through the surface of the water with their exhalations, and they glided towards the starboard side of Chimo and just held there in logging position for quite some time. We even heard some beautiful above water vocalizations. And then it was time for Ken to get the ID photos for Orca Survey. This was actually the first Superpod in a number of years where all members of JK and LPod were present in the inland waters. So this is a fantastic opportunity for him to get the ID shots on certain whales that hadn't been seen for some time. This day was extra special and significant because J35 Telaqua was sighted with her newborn calf. Ken described the newborn as healthy and precocious, which was wonderful news to hear. And it kind of makes you wonder if this was a family gathering celebrating the newborn, a new baby in the family.
Woohoo! And again.
Now Ken's gonna owe us IDs on those breachers.
Oh.
The 3-tail logs.
After several incredible hours in the presence of the whales and hundreds, if not thousands, of photos that were taken during that time, Ken finally said, we really need to leave these guys here and head for home. And it was getting late in the day, and we were many miles from shore. So he turned Chimo and he started to head towards the harbor. Well, I kept my eyes peeled on the whales behind us because I was actually really sad to say goodbye and to leave them. So I was watching them, and I noticed that they pivoted in position as we were departing the area. And then they started porpoising towards the back of the boat. And so I tugged on Ken's shirt sleeve because he had his eyes on the horizon. And I'm like, Ken, I think the whales are following us. And he just kind of laughed and he said, yeah, they do that sometimes. They make it hard to get home. And so I'm like, no, seriously, they are like following the boat. They're catching up with us. And they ended up on both sides of the boat, almost as if they were escorting us home. And what fascinated me was that every time Ken would speed up, the whales would speed up. And every time he would slow down, the whales would slow down. It's almost like they were trying to keep perfect pace with the boat all the way across the strait. After several miles of travel with the whales, Ken stopped the boat. And you can see here that we're much closer to shore at this point. We're off the west side of San Juan Island. and the whales moved in front of the boat. So they were just off the bow of Chimo. And what happened next was just amazing. They engaged in a full-on roly-poly cuddle puddle, just full of tactile behaviors. Whales cheek to cheek and spy hopping, and it almost seemed like a love fest. It was very special. I love that they followed us home. What a memorable day.